As the days go by, new and mysterious discoveries always emerge that capture our attention. Many of these findings are surprisingly strange and overwhelming, even to the researchers themselves. Number 1. Tarzan from real life. This is the case of a man and his son who have been living in the Vietnamese jungles for more than 40 years. During the Vietnam conflicts, O Van Tan, now in his 80s, took his youngest son, O Van Lang, deep into the jungle to escape a U.S. airstrike that left his wife and 2 older children dead. 40 years later, the two were discovered about 40 kilometers away from the nearest town, living in a treehouse. They made their own improvised tools and were even tending a sugar cane plantation. They also had a small fire in the suspended hut and made their own underpants from dried tree bark. When he was discovered, the father could barely walk due to his old age, and even forgot most of the language. His son was in optimal physical condition but did not know the language. Neither of them suffered from any illness, and that is quite shocking. Number 2. The Lost Gold of the Incas. The story of the lost gold of the Incas dates back to the 16th century, when the Spanish conquistador Francisco Pizarro demanded a ransom of gold from the Inca king Atahualpa. The Incas began to collect the ransom, but Pizarro impatiently executed the king. The ransom is said to have been hidden in a secret cave somewhere, and there have been several reports of its discovery over the years. One of the first reports was about 50 years later, when a Spaniard named Valverde claimed to have obtained money by saying that his Inca wife's family had shown him the location of the treasure. However, the instructions on how to find it, as well as the guide and map, disappeared. It was not until 1886 that a treasure hunter named Blake claimed to have found the treasure. He described human figures, birds and animals made of life-size gold, jewelry and gold vases filled with emeralds, as well as incredibly beautiful works of metalwork. Blake took what he could carry and left with the intention of returning, but disappeared on his way back to New York. All attempts to locate him and find the lost gold have so far failed. Blake's fate and the possibility of someone else finding the lost Inca gold remain a mystery. Number 3. The Wedge of Ade. About 50 years ago, a group of miners found an object so strange that many have come to believe it came from outer space. It was discovered on the banks of the Mureș River in Iași, Romania, when miners were searching for something completely different, 2 mastodon bones. But that was not all. More than 35 feet deep, they found an object with no date, no purpose, no clear explanation and no apparent function. It was called the aluminum object or Wedge of Iod. The fact that the Wedge of Iod lacks antiquity and purpose makes it very confusing. Its location is also very strange, since it is unlikely to discover an object made from newly discovered materials among the bones of a beast that became extinct 11,700 years ago. To further complicate matters, this object was covered in patina, a coating that takes thousands of years to develop. Furthermore, this object could also pass as modern, since it is made of a material that cannot be differentiated from today's aluminum, something that should have existed 11,000 years ago. The location and dates surrounding this object don't add up, nor does its shape seem to serve any apparent purpose. It is suspected to have extraterrestrial origin, but there is no valid theory. Number 4. The Sky Blue Stone. In 1990, a miner in Sierra Leone stumbled across a highly anomalous stone unlike any seen before. Angel or Pythron, and he was exploring West Africa when he discovered a gem of a vibrant sky blue color. After performing carbon dating tests, it was determined that the curious rock fell to Earth between 11,000 and 18,000 years ago. But most notably, laboratory analysis revealed that the composition of the sky blue stone was pure oxygen. This oxygen-rich material comprised 77% of the gem, along with carbon, silicon, calcium, and sodium. The sky blue stone is an enigma. Although it looks like it was made by humans, it was found in rock layers much older than any civilization. Scientists have studied it, but with limited samples they don't know where it came from and how it formed. Some think that an ancient civilization could have created it with unknown technology, while others believe that it could have formed naturally due to unknown geological processes. Its composition is very different from common terrestrial minerals. The discovery in an ancient rock layer suggests it existed before humans. Although it is beautiful, its origin will remain a mystery to humanity. Number 5. Sea of Stars. The Sea of Stars is an incredible spectacle on our planet that everyone should see at least once in their life. It is located on the island of Vadhu, in the Maldives. If you're used to seeing stars in the sky, it's time to see them somewhere else. The stars are gigantic balls of fire that do not shy away from the sky. Although millions of tourists gather to contemplate them, the water of this island has a disturbing blue color, as if it were illuminated by stars. When the water crashes, visitors see the blue tone light up, as if the stars in the water were causing the glow. Scientists claim that we do not see stars, but rather tiny plankton that have evolved to shine in case of danger. This process helps them distract predators looking for an easy bite. The amount of shine you see in the water depends on how the plankton has grown throughout the year. Number 6. The Devil on a Clay Tablet. In 2020, an ancient 20,700-year-old clay tablet found decades ago in an ancient Assyrian sanctuary was translated. This tablet depicts a demon named Zo and contains descriptions of an ancient exorcism ritual. It offers rare insights into Mesopotamian demonology and popular medicine of that time. Originally, the tablet was found in a sacred cave in northern Iraq, which was part of a temple dedicated to the gods Asadu, Ashur, and Orta. During excavations in the 1950s, archaeologists discovered this tablet along with other ancient objects. In it, Zo is depicted as a winged demon with horns, a human body, bird legs and tail, and a tongue similar to that of a snake. The text explains that Zo was considered an evil spirit capable of possessing humans and causing problems such as seizures and strange behavior. At that time, the Assyrian and Babylonian people believed that these afflictions were caused by demonic forces rather than physical illnesses. The inscription on the tablet describes an incantation that priests recited in an exorcism ritual to expel Zo, stating that thanks to the power of the gods Tanu and Shamash, Zo's spirit would be expelled and left defenseless. Number 7. The Double Tree of Sorso. Piedmont, Italy. It houses one of the most unusual places in the world. You probably wouldn't know something like this existed until someone told you. This countryside boasts a cherry tree that looks normal, except that it grows on a mulberry tree. Yes, you heard right, a single root harbors two different fruits. Not only is it abnormal, it seems impossible. It is not the first parasitic tree to grow from others, however, they are usually smaller and die after a while. Catorso's double tree is different. The cherry and mulberry trees are fully formed and healthy, and each tree spreads its branches 5 meters. No one knows how it happened, and scientists remain baffled. Locals say a bird may have dropped a cherry seed on a mulberry tree, forcing them to coexist. The intruding tree may have put down roots that penetrated the hollow trunk and reached the ground. This is just speculation as there is no official explanation yet. Number 8. The Mountain of Gold. Recently, what appears to be a mountain of gold was discovered in the Congo, attracting thousands of villagers who dug it up with shovels in their hands. This event highlights the abundance of natural resources in the country, but despite its wealth, Congo remains one of the poorest countries due to inequality in the distribution of wealth. Authorities intervened to recover the gold and temporarily halted mining activities in the area until regulations were met. Additionally, some people have linked this discovery to ancient prophecies about momentous events. Only time will reveal its true importance and consequences. Number 9. The Dendera bulb. Speaking of Egypt, photographs of this strange object caused panic in the scientific world, and they have been struggling to discover the truth ever since. The photos were taken at the Temple of Hathor in Dendera, Egypt, and the markings on the tomb wall are called reliefs. Some earlier theories suggested that these reliefs represented ancient Egyptian technology. This was based on comparisons with similar devices such as lamps or tubes. However, recent research has challenged this interpretation and proposed new hypotheses about the meaning of these reliefs. For example, some studies suggest that they could be symbolic representations of abstract concepts or coded messages. These new theories have generated debate in Egyptology and have opened new doors for the investigation of the true function of these reliefs. This led to the expansion of the theory that the characters in the performances could hold lighting devices, such as lamps or light bulbs. That's why the image in this photo is called the Dendera light bulb. Fringe theorists used this light bulb-shaped image to explain that the ancient Egyptians may have been the first to discover electricity, which would have been useful in illuminating these dark tombs. However, no light bulbs or signs of electrical work have been found in Egyptian tombs. Do you think it is possible that light was invented in ancient times? Number 10. Fairy circles. On the arid plains of the Namib Desert in Namibia, scientists and tourists marvel at an unusual natural phenomenon known as fairy circles. They consist of round patches of barren land surrounded by low grass, forming a honeycomb pattern when viewed from above. The diameter of these circles varies from a few meters to several tens of meters, and they are found in vast areas of Namibia. Local myths attribute these circles to divine intervention or the footsteps of supernatural beings, but scientific versions explain their appearance with various causes, from termites and plant competition to gas leaks and even radioactivity. Despite all these theories, the definitive reason for its appearance remains unknown. The magical circles of Namibia continue to provoke scientific debate and public curiosity, illustrating the enchanting mysteries that nature often hides from prying eyes.